Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Top Dog Rolly or Rolly Dog, and I have been absent for about 2 months now. And I'm making a very weak-ass attempt at a return on my second channel because tomorrow is season 9 on Sea of Thieves and I haven't played. So I just thought I'd do a little reaction to the season 9. I've seen some stuff on Instagram and Facebook about the chest of fortune and whatnot. So let's have a bit of a dive into what's new in season 9. Oh.
So with season, sorry, I can tell you're thinking she's not gonna do it.
I'll just say some stuff, get it wrong, and then we'll break the ice. And we can say some more stuff. So,
In season 9, players will experience a refreshed, revitalized. Sorry, just had a thought of seeing the video, and it's like someone else saying this bit, because like you just cut me out entirely.
Season 9 has been a chance for us to reassess players' relationships with some of the world events that they spend so much of their sessions engaging with.
we had two kind of core areas that we wanted to approach. One was
Yes.
changes to the sandbox, adding new kind of chests into the world, refreshing some of our kind of core world events in the game. And then the second half was more around quality of life and kind of fixes and changes and improvements to the game as a whole.
In season 9, players will experience a refreshed, revitalized sandbox experience of that quintessential Sea of Thieves gameplay with a ton of opportunities on the horizon and a bunch of quality of life changes.
Cool. Whoa.
In season 9, you can find the Chest of Fortune hiding in the vault at the Fort of Fortune.
Along with
And
anything.
cashing it in will get you a large golden reputation reward at the Gold Hoarders. But it also progresses a new commendation that will allow you to buy parts of the Fates of Fortune ship set. No matter how long you've been playing, how much gold you've got, how much reputation, everybody's going to want to get their hands on this chest. We are going to be adding grades to those commendations in the future that will let you unlock more parts of the set. But keep an eye on that Chest of Fortune, because in future seasons it will move around. It may not always be at the Fort of Fortune.
Alright.
We've locked kind of one half of the cosmetics behind the Chest of Fortune, but then we really loved when we first put the Reaper's Chest into the game for the first time, and we kind of had all this emerging gameplay around players trying to steal these Reaper's Chests from one another, and thought it'd be good to kind of revive that and kind of tweak the gameplay a little bit. So we've made it so that the beacon on the Reaper's Chest and the Reaper's Bounty Chest, they're just permanently on now. As soon as you pick that up, it's a permanent
Yes.
beacon for other players in
Like,
the world.
I
If you
swear,
cash in
like,
enough of those chests,
Arena was like that. I'm
like
sure.
the Chest of
it was,
Fortune, you'll be able to get these unique cosmetics as well.
World events are a staple
Thought
of
of
the
it,
Sea
damn.
of Thieves experience, but they have historically been balanced for
How was the Kraken up and Astral Winds at the same time?
our larger crew sizes. We wanted to kind of trim the fat a little bit, get rid of some of the frustration. As part of that, we took the opportunity to make sure that they scale for the amount of players who are nearby and taking part. The Fort of Fortune was definitely our longest world event in terms of the time it was taking players to complete, which is an achievement for those that managed it, but not necessarily achievable for the vast majority of players in Sea of Thieves. So we wanted to shrink that down and also just take some of the rough edges off.
As part of the Fort of Fortune experience, the rebalanced Ashen Lord is now placed on there as well, so you've got your final boss at the end. They were set up as a 4-player world event, really, so for big crews. But when you got down to like lower numbers of players, like 1 player, 2 player, you felt like a bullet sponge. The abilities wouldn't kick off as readily,
guys,
so
yeah.
it didn't feel as fast-paced and as sweat-inducing as we wanted. So with this new system that we've got in, which scales towards the amount of players, he's kicking off his abilities.
Right, so say if I start with, say if 4-player galleon's there, and I, as a solo, somehow manage to sync them, will the 4 scale down to a solo, or will it just be whoever starts the 4?
He's quickly throwing grenades, knocking back, just a bit more frantic, a bit shorter. He doesn't feel like a sponge anymore. One of the rewards that you get for completing the event is the Ashen Winds Skull. Flamethrower, he opens up his mouth, he's flamethrowing everywhere, it's awesome. But the thing is, single players never really got to experience it so much. So now, if you defeat the Ashen Lord, around a 10-minute experience, we hope, get your hands on the Ashen Wind Skull, and you can go setting skeletons on fire, setting ships on fire, and enjoying yourself across the seas
So
as
they
a
just
single player.
scaled the Ashen
Doing
Lord,
things.
or the whole 4, or is it just Ashen Winds?
Another thing that we wanted to do as part of this refresh to the sandbox was bring back the Ghost Ship Fleet Battle. We've now removed Flameheart from that encounter, so that same kind of naval-based battle is there for players to kind of take part in, which is great to have it back, because in its time away, we only had one kind of naval-based world event, and all the rest of them were kind of land-based, but now having the Ghost Ship fleets back in again, it gives us that nice variety back on the seas.
So
So is
for
it
Pirate
Flameheart?
Legends out there with spare doubloons, they can now buy 3 new special Pirate Legend voyages, either from Athena's Fortune or from the Captaincy shop, that will allow you to go and do more specific activities on demand as a Pirate Legend. The Black Powder voyage allows you to go and stock up on gunpowder, stronghold
Oh, they
gunpowder,
brought that back.
fire bombs. You may even find some Athena's fireworks in there, just to allow you to use that in the sandbox however you wish. And there's a voyage for cursed treasure as well, where you'll be able to find those cursed chests. Again, great part of the sandbox that we think deserves a little bit more attention, and the way they mix up with the random nature of what you dig up and when during that voyage makes that really interesting. There's also a new cursed chest as part of that called the Chest of Boundless Sorrow, which will never stop weeping as well, so watch out for that one. And then there's the
Bet that was-
search for the Skull of Destiny, so this is very exciting. Players will get an Athena's Wayfinder that will send them to a nearby island where you dig up a Skull of Destiny.
The Fort of the Damned was always intended as sort of a harder experience for our really engaged players. An inadvertent consequence of the way we originally built it is that the hardest part of it was actually starting it. So we've given
Yeah.
Pirate Legends access to the Skull of Destiny.
What's cool about it is it has all the different flames of fate all
What? Yo.
in one object, and it also doubles as a ritual skull. So players will have everything they need to start the Fort of the Damned. We just wanted to
Nah,
make it more
that's fucking yes. Motivation is back on for the Father Damned.
accessible so that there's more people engaging with the world events in Season 9, which means there's more loot on the sea, which makes it a more emergent and better sandbox for players. We've been working with our partners at Lucid Games on bringing a bunch of new great quality of life features for Season 9. They've been absolutely nailing it. They've added tons of new content. Usually we're so focused on these kind of big overarching changes to Sea of Thieves, and there's all these kind of
This is
opportunities
the nice
to
little
improve
bit,
the game
like, with the
elsewhere.
music and
With Season 9
stuff,
we've
it's
had that
the
kind of huge
My
focus on
favourite bit.
A few of the quality of life fixes we've added in this update include a volume slider for the hit stings that you get when players hit an enemy ship with the cannonball, the little diddle-in-eh. You will now be able to independently adjust to the volume of that,
Yes.
even if you've got your music volume turned all the way down. We've also made it so that any loot from a ship that is sunk to the Red Sea will now respawn further into the safe areas of the Sea of Thieves. So no longer do those Red Sea runners get away with denying you their treasure.
Oh
We've
man.
added in seagulls now, so when a player's ship sinks, any loot that they had on board was sometimes quite hard to find, especially if you're in
Finally,
like
they're doing
a
something
PvP
right.
battle, and the jettison barrels kind of
Skull.
float up, but you can't quite see them in the distance. There's now seagulls.
I'm so
above
glad I
all
decided
of
to come
that
back to Sea of
loot.
Thieves now.
You
I
can
just
now
took a
take
look at it 'cause it's
Emissary
stuff already
flags
like that.
earned by single.
I'm just really happy I'm back now. I know this is going on my second channel, so not many people hear this, but I'm so glad I'm coming back to the game now because it looks like shit's getting spicy.
Sinking other ships to an outpost and cash them in with a skeleton that hangs above the Reaper's emissary table. The Guardians of Fortune had a really easy way of cashing in their flags at the mysterious stranger who's in every tavern on every outpost. We just wanted to make sort of the Season 8 PvP factions a little bit more aligned with each other.
Adelric is our new character that has just joined the Hunter's
Finally.
Corps, kind of just become old enough to step into his Uncle Merrick's shoes. Big shoes to fill, but he's going to try his best to do it. So players can now cash in for the Hunter's Call at Stephen Spoils again.
We've added a new
Finally.
bait box for the Hunter's Call that allows players to kind
Yes.
of purchase a crate full of bait so they can go on these fishing trips really quickly.
The Sovereigns will now take deliveries of Hunter's Call items as well.
Should have a
Cash
thought
those
side
in
of my
for
bad.
you. But the Hunter's Call, they still really want those direct deliveries to Seapost, so they'll offer you a bonus on the gold if you take it straight to them.
Oh.
Perhaps my favourite one that we've finally got round to doing is correctly randomising the outpost that you spawn at the beginning of a session. Gone are the days of constantly seeing Galleon's Grave and Daggertooth outpost, and sunnier skies lie ahead.
One of my best changes that we've added is the ability to sell items directly from a collector's chest. Press one button
Oh.
and it just sells all the items inside that are relevant for that trader. It just makes everything so much quicker.
So my absolute favourite quality of life feature in Season 9 are the changes to the harpoon. So that's unified now, just like when you harpoon a player in and they land immediately on the deck of the ship.
What
now
is
your
going
treasure
on?
does too. It makes those harpoon moments just that lot more viable. If you're sailing past some treasure really quickly, sailing past some barrels of plenty, you've got the opportunity to grab a few more things. It's really fast, really efficient, and it feels amazing.
My favourite would be the Ashen Lord. Now, I might be a bit biased on that, but even though I've played it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, when the music's kicking in and he's doing his World's End ability and all the rocks are coming down, it's just so frantic and fun. I just love it.
Yeah, but
As
it's
you
like
look out on the
develop
horizon, you're
that.
seeing all these different world events appear.
So is that the
It
new
just
event?
feels much more approachable and achievable now than ever before. Like, everything feels like a genuine opportunity that I want to go and engage with. And that just feels like the sandbox becomes so much richer because I just want to take part in everything.
Yeah, I
All
need
these
to message
individual
Dad.
features that we're bringing in as part of Season 9 are
I'll
really
message
great
you
in
right
some of the
now.
parts when they work together. So you set sail in Season 9 and maybe you're holding a Skull of Destiny, you're about to go and light the Flames of Fate at the Fort of the Damned. When you see a beacon on the horizon, someone's picked up a Reaper's chest and maybe you want to go after that to get those Fates of Fortune weapon set. But then you see the Fort of Fortune's just started as well, the clouds just appeared for that, so maybe you want to go after that. And really is this wealth of choice and experiences for players in that quintessential Sea of Thieves sandbox way.
Looks like this is going to be good. Looks like it's going to be one of the best updates. Like, I remember when Shrouded Spoils came home. When Shrouded Spoils came, Sea of Thieves, I was just so hyped for it because it's just small little tweaks and turns that can just flip everything on 180 and just send it in the right direction the game needs. Because Season 8 was great and all, but it kind of lost a lot of player base. Like, even I stopped playing for like 2 months in February because I was just so sick of it. But yeah, hopefully I'll upload on my main channel tomorrow so we can actually get into the meat and juices of this update. And I'm probably going to go stream on Twitch right now over at twitch.tv/RollyDog. If anyone's got notifications on for this channel, I'll be surprised. Anyway, it's been your boy, Top Dog Rolly or Rolly Dog. Peace.